are watching Bengals Breakdown by Chat Sports, and I am your host, Stone Shields. Thanks so much for hanging out with us here on a Tuesday afternoon. Coming up on today's show, we're going to be talking about Cooper Kupp once again. Obviously, about a week or so ago, we had a video for you guys detailing a potential trade for Kupp to Cincinnati, and now he has been informed by the Los Angeles Rams that they are seeking to trade him. And several people in the national media have linked Kupp to the Cincinnati Bengals. So we're going to be talking about that here on today's show. I'll obviously have my own thoughts and opinions on it as well. But before we get into that, make sure you guys give me a follow over on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, at StoneShields_. We hit our 500 follower goal. The goal is to get to 600 now by the end of the month of February. The boss said get to 600 at the end of the month or else. Or else what? I don't know. I don't want to find out. So help me out. Let's get to that 600 follower mark. All of our Bengals Breakdown content will be posted to my Twitter page, and you'll also see a lot more short form content there as well with some YouTube shorts going up there. That's at StoneShields_ on Twitter. So Kupp took to Twitter last night, believe it or not, and announced that, hey, the Los Angeles Rams are indeed planning on trading him. This is what Kupp said on Twitter. It was kind of a lengthy message. This is kind of just the first paragraph, the main stuff in which Cooper Kupp was talking about. He said, I was informed that the team will be seeking a trade immediately and will be working with me and my family to find the right place to continue competing for championships. I don't agree with the decision and always believed it was going to begin and end in LA. He also added at the end of his post, 2024 began with one of the best training camps of his career. Preparations start now for 2025. Said he's highly motivated, as healthy as ever, and looking forward to playing elite football for years to come. He said, love you guys, but coming for it all. And Dan Orlovsky is one of the great guys that covers the NFL for ESPN. Orlovsky linked Cincinnati to Cooper Kupp. He put out on Twitter kind of his top 4 teams, and you can see there Cincinnati is at the top of that list, followed by San Francisco, Denver, and Houston. And really, I think a lot of teams should be interested in Cooper Kupp. We, of course, talked about Myles Garrett on yesterday's show. Garrett's a guy that everybody, besides the Cleveland Browns, obviously should be calling about. I don't think Cooper Kupp should be getting calls regarding Cooper Kupp from 31 of the teams, but I definitely think it should be more so than not. Here are the odds that we've got right now at this point. This is per sportsbetting.ag. The Chargers are the favorite there at plus 300. Obviously, that would be nice for Kupp and his family. They wouldn't have to move, right? And he would be staying right there in Los Angeles. The Bills coming in at plus 400. Certainly could use another wide receiver with the uncertainty around Amari Cooper's future. He will hit free agency. Pittsburgh at plus 500. They are always looking for a wide receiver, rounded out by Denver and Vegas as well. And Cincinnati was really at the bottom of the league, sitting there at plus 5,000 odds. Again, this is per sportsbetting.ag, so it's hard to really tell, if these odds are accurate, but certainly thought it was noteworthy that the Bengals were at the very bottom, as they tend to be with all trade-related stuff. Leads to the pinned comment of today's video. Do you want Cooper Kupp in Cincinnati? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Type Y for yes or N for no. If that ad comes here on YouTube, that's totally fine. Take advantage of it. Get down in the comments. Let us know what you think. Look, I'm going to be honest, the idea of Cooper Kupp in Cincinnati certainly intrigues me, right? When you look about Cooper Kupp as a football player, guy's an absolute killer. He is a super nice guy off the field, family man, all that. Very religious guy as well. But when he's in between the lines, he's coming to kill you. And I certainly respect that and admire that about him. And I think that would go hand in hand with Joe Burrow, because that's really how Joe Burrow operates when he is on the football field as well. And he also has that championship medal, of course. Unfortunately, it came against the Cincinnati Bengals. We kind of talked about potential awkwardness there. If you came to Cincinnati, like, hey, you were the Super Bowl MVP when you beat him, but I think you could certainly work your way around that. When the guy's in between the lines, he is a force to be reckoned with. And even if Tee Higgins does return to Cincinnati in 2025, you still could use another wide receiver there to round out your wide receiving core. And I don't know if you want to go the youth track once again, because you did that last year in the draft with Jermaine Burton. Obviously, that blew up on your face a couple of years before that. A year before that, going with Charlie Jones. he hasn't been able to do much. He's really been hurt for the entirety of his career. I do like Yoshi a lot, but when you look at 2 of their last 3 picks as wide receivers, haven't really panned out the way you were hoping. So you might want to choose a different route and try to bring in a different guy that is a veteran. Obviously, first concern here is the money, right? Not too long ago, Cooper Kupp was the best wide receiver in the National Football League, and he kind of has, I don't want to say fallen off a cliff, but certainly has taken a steep decline when it comes to his play out there on the football field. Now, a team would have to inherit the $20 million that he is owed if they do, in fact, trade for Cooper Kupp, and I believe that number is around $19 million. For the following year in 2026 as well. You can see some of the post-June 1st release information here on this graphic. But regardless, it is not going to be cheap if you, in fact, trade for Cooper Kupp. I do definitely think that if the Bengals were to land Cooper Kupp, it would be through kind of a free agent signing after he was cut by the Los Angeles Rams. I'd kind of be surprised if the Rams were able to find a trade partner for Cooper Kupp. It kind of feels like to me that at the end of the day, he's probably going to get cut and will become a free agent and make a decision from there. Obviously, another concern is the injuries, right? That probably is your number one concern, even more so than the money. He's had a hard time staying out there on the football field really throughout his career, even before he won the Triple Crown. And the last 3 years have really been tough on Cooper Kupp. Taking a look at some of these numbers here. Missed 5 games in 24, 5 in 23, and 8 in 22. That's just not getting it done there. The best ability is availability, and Cooper Kupp certainly has not been available for his football team in recent years, and obviously that is a major red flag, especially when you already have kind of injury concerns there with Tee Higgins at that wide receiver position. We'll continue with our Cooper Kupp conversation here in a moment, but first, I want to give a shout-out to our friends over at Game Time, as today's show is presented by Game Time. Look, Game Time's got this new feature. It's called Game Time Picks. Makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of different tickets. Filters out all of the fluff. Incredible stuff there with that feature there on Game Time. They've also got all-in pricing, which I really like as well. And the seat views. Get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy with Game Time, so you don't get blocked out by a foul pole or something like that. Got spring training right around the corner. Certainly fired up about those Cincinnati Redlegs. Head over to Game Time. Get you some tickets to see those Cincinnati Redlegs down in Goodyear, Arizona. Also love the event cancellation protection. You're going to a concert, artist cancels on you, no problem at all. Game Time's not going to hose you. They're going to make sure you get your money back. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. But again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, all guaranteed. Kind of what I was alluding to here with the wide receiver room. Obviously with Jamar Chase, hopefully only a matter of time before you get a deal together with him, make him the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history, and kind of move on from there. Tee Higgins, obviously some uncertainty there, but I do want to emphasize the point that I'm still looking to add another wide receiver, even if Tee Higgins is back with this team, if they're able to come to a long-term agreement with their former second-round pick. And like I said, Jones and Burton just have not developed the way you were hoping for. I still believe that Cooper Kupp has a lot to offer when it comes to his performance on the football field. I don't think that he has really completely fallen off a cliff. Obviously, the major concern is injuries, but when he's out there on the football field, I think he is a very, very solid player at this point in his career, and he's a guy that's a really cerebral guy. He would fit in so perfectly with Joe Burrow in the Cincinnati Bengals offense. He can always find the soft spot of the zone, and if you're worried about guys like Tee Higgins and Jamar Chase out there, and you leave Cooper Kupp open, he is going to make you pay. He's got strong hands. He's really great at the catch point. He'll take shots. He's tough. He really checks all the boxes for you, not even to mention that he had that prior relationship with Zach Taylor in Los Angeles. Taylor was a coach of his for 2 years there with Sean McVay, so there's some built-in chemistry already between the two. I think that in itself should be intriguing for the Cincinnati Bengals and Cooper Kupp. The money is really obviously a concern along with the injuries, but overall, if you're telling me if I want Cooper Kupp, asking me if I want Cooper Kupp in Cincinnati, I absolutely do. Another opportunity for you guys to get involved with our show here at Bengals Breakdown. Name a wide receiver you want to add this offseason. Bengals are going to add one in some capacity, whether it's through the draft or free agency. Get a name for me down in the comments of today's show. Let's take a look at some notable free agent wide receivers that are going to be hitting the market. Obviously, I hope that guy in the top left there, Tee Higgins, is not available for teams, and the Bengals can find a way to get a deal done with him. Chris Godwin, certainly intriguing, coming off a massive injury, as is Amari Cooper, Stephon Diggs, Marquise Hollywood Brown, DeAndre Hopkins, Josh Palmer, Keenan Allen, Darius Slayton, and Elijah Moore. That's kind of the top of the line there when it comes to wide receivers. Hopefully you can just get Tee Higgins back and you don't have to worry about any of these other guys. But we'll see. I think there's definitely a few guys on that list that could add a lot of value to Cincinnati in the future. Looking at the draft, here are kind of the top guys when it comes to Mel Kiper Jr.'s draft board here. Really, these top few guys probably not going to be available when you pick at 17. And it's funny, my good buddy Austin Elmore, host of Cincy 360 on ESPN 1530, he's kind of floating around the idea that, hey, Cincinnati might look to draft a wide receiver at 17 overall. I think Ibuka's certainly going to be available at that spot. Certainly could be a move Cincinnati makes, but I personally would lean on the defense, but it really is interesting. I really like Alec Ayomanor out of Stanford. He will be available. Would love to have him available in the second round. I think you take him no question at all. But there's definitely some receivers in the draft that can provide impact for you. But really my biggest concern is that you went to the draft for receivers the past couple of years, and it really hasn't worked out beyond Yoshi. There's got to be some hesitancy with kind of going back and trying that once again. Make sure you guys hit that sub button if you have not done so already. We'll be here all year long, all off season long with Bengals trade rumors. Hopefully they will ultimately make at least one at the end of the day. If they do, we'll have a video for you. So hit that sub button, youtube.com/BengalsTV.